transparency's sake, I did download Boss Fight Database's video. That's the gameplay of the village portion of the demo I'm going over or watching. So that is not me. I'll reiterate against once we get into it. The castle demo is my own footage that I did play through. So yeah, there's that. We got a lot to go through, and every once in a while I might cut out of the gameplay to give some more in-depth thoughts because I want the gameplay to flow better. I don't want to pause and then just go on a tangent. I'll pause and then cut to this little setup to do my tangent if I have one. Otherwise, then we're just going to cut right back to the gameplay and continue going on forward. Anyway, with the Resident Evil hype coming around the corner, I thought this would be a great project to do and release a little closer to the release of the game. It's April 25th, as I can see on my laptop right now. This will probably not come out till the week the game comes out, so I have plenty of time to work on this. Theoretically.
Life and in death, we give glory.
Okay.
Hello?
Let's try this.
You shouldn't be
so
out
as
here.
you can
It's not
see,
safe.
it's just a casual conversation.
What the hell? Hey, can you hear me?
It's you, the child's father.
Child? Hey, wait. Do you mean Rose? Is she here?
Rose! Rose, yes. She is in great danger. Since Mother Miranda brought her to the village, we have fallen into darkness.
What are you talking about? The monsters?
The castle bell heralds danger. They're coming!
No. Wait. Where's Rose? Who's Mother Miranda?
The bell
I love how
tolls
she
for
just
us all.
closes the
They're
door on
coming
you.
again!
I don't need this clunky headset anymore. But yeah, I do find it interesting that it is Miranda, considering my mother's name is Miranda, and in that exact way, it is spelled. You might be thinking, how other way would it be spelled? Well, I saw somebody's comment saying their mother's name was spelled M-A-N. Spelled like Miranda, but with an A instead of an I at the beginning. Whatever, anyway, that's not important. The important part is if you're focusing right here, you're in the village, wandering around, it's snowy. Like I said, this isn't my gameplay. This is boss battle data something. Oh, again. Ow. Boss fight database. That's who it was. This is boss fight database. This is gameplay footage of it. Again, I'm using this because I probably won't be able to play the demo May 1st like I want to. Just because, again, I close on Saturdays at 12:39 and I open on Sundays 5:32, giving me just 8 hours and 15 minutes of sleep in between times, or 8 hours depending on when you go to bed. If you go to bed at 8:15, wake up at 5:15 or 9:15, wake up at 8:15. That's exactly 8 hours. Anyway, enough of that gambling. You get this an interesting goat statue over here. Like, warning, warning. You shall feel the wrath of Mother Miranda. Shall you destroy this goat? Well, of course you're gonna destroy the goddamn goat. Why wouldn't you destroy the goat? Anyway, yeah. So as you can see, gameplay looks and feels familiar to Resident Evil 7. I mean, moving around has like a slight different motion-y feeling to it, or maybe I just didn't mess with the settings enough. Otherwise, shooting
leads to the castle.
the knife, I mean, they've done quality of life updates, it seems like. Like, if you have your gun out and you walk up to a breakable item, you can press X to break the item with the knife, regardless of whether you have the gun out or not. A nice little map showing you where to go, Resident Evil style. And also, it saves you from having to go into your inventory or just click over on the D-pad, up on the D-pad, whatever. Go up to it, it's saving you a click, A nice little well pulley system. Of course it needs another item. But yeah, the environment's obviously a lot different. Go figure. You're in, but everybody assumes is Transylvania. No, I never did that. Never got my hot pockets. Wait, whatever. Whatever. I'll go over there and put it back on for 30 seconds. But yeah, the whole aesthetic of the game, like those, aren't those in Resident Evil 7? Like when you go to the Baker's mansion, not even the mansion, it's that little under thing before you run into the guest house. Isn't that the same thing? It's hard to tell. I mean, this game does look like it's gonna be. I don't know. How do you put it? Resident Evil's gone through so many transitions in its time period. From fixed camera angle horror to fixed camera angle horror action. Because you could say every game technically has an action driven element to it, which would not be wrong. Every Resident Evil game definitely has an action element to it, like action gameplay, akin to, like, 5 and 6, and 4, which are the 3 most action-packed games. It's just a matter of how well you balance your horror with the action that I think the fan base is missing, or wants, because of course 1, 2, and 3 are allotted heavily for their fixed camera angle horror survival style, even though 3 is very much a action game, more so than a horror game. Okay. I'd say not in the same way Code Veronica is. I'd say Code Veronica does a better job of being a horror game than an action game compared to, say, Resident Evil 3. I'd say Code Veronica is the better horror game over 3. 3 is probably the better action game. Can I say for a fact? No, because I'm never going to play them in their original state, because I don't mess with tank controls. I don't like them. I can't get used to them. I've tried. I just do not like them. I really don't. I just can't get used to them in any way, shape, or form. I wish I could, but, because then I could go back and play Resident Evil 1 on PlayStation, Resident Evil 2, and Resident Evil 3, and Code Veronica, and what was it, Resident Evil 0, right, the original one? Or is Resident Evil 0 across the board the updated tank controls from Remake? Because Resident Evil Remake's tank controls, beautiful, they're fine, they're great, I love them. A lot more user-friendly than the older style tank controls that I just can't deal with, and I'm glad they're gone. Yeah, like, sure, 4 kind of has a bit of an element to it like that, but again, it's more of a friendly style. And one thing I've noticed is that between the 2 demos, it seems like the first demo, the Village demo, is very focused on the Lycan side of things, whereas the second demo is very focused on witches and the zombies. Because I've seen the people talk about it. Oh, Resident Evil 8, werewolves and vampires, blah, blah, blah. That's not my Resident Evil. Where's the zombies? I've actually seen that comment where somebody was complaining about werewolves and vampires and then asking, it's like, the zombies are there. They're in the game. I mean, also, that werewolf strikingly looks like Jack Baker. Like, for real. Looks a lot like Jack Baker. It's kind of throwing me off. But yeah, the that's what I don't get what people are complaining about. with Resident Evil 7, the biggest issue was enemies. Enemy variety. It wasn't Ethan so much that was an issue. I mean, I know quite a few people had issue with Ethan, thinking he was bland and had no personality. He had personality, don't get me wrong. It wasn't the most engaging of personalities, but there was enough personality for you to care. I mean, for Christ's sake, he's a man who's literally on the most dangerous game of finding your wife. And now he's doing the same thing here, but with his child. You know, and so with that, they're sort of updating the two styles, you know?
Please.
Hey, what are you doing here?
Okay, cutscenes are a thing.
Stay back.
Please, don't hurt us.
Whoa.
So it makes me wonder
okay.
if the way you see
not
the
gonna
old
hurt you.
man in the
I'm
trailer,
just glad to see normal people at last.
or when they first were
Have you seen
showing
the
off
other
Resident Evil
survivors?
8,
No.
isn't actually in the
all in
game.
Louise's
This is
house.
definitely how you first
She's
see
not
him. Because I
answering the
remember
gate,
when they
it's
first showed
locked.
off Resident Evil 8, you meet this old man and then there's like a werewolf on the outskirts and you like, I think grabs him from the roof or something. It's been a while.
Shit, we're sitting ducks in here. Can your old man walk?
And then of course she was in the
No.
trailer because it was
One of the monsters
very
cut him.
faintly.
He's lost a lot of blood. We have to get
Because
into
of
Louise's house.
the leaks and the rumors, everybody was
Must be a way
thinking
inside.
she was going to be
Stay
the
here.
second playable
Be
character.
quiet. Don't
Because
move
the
until I get
rumors
those
and
gates
leaks,
open.
like, say Ethan's 70% of the game. Then this unknown player would be like 20, and Chris Redfield's like 10%. According to the leak, and then everybody was thinking, or I think according to the leaks, the second playable character was a female. You know, just like 7. Ethan is like probably 80% of that game, if not 85, and then you have 15%, which is me. Right? And then you have the DLC, which is Chris and Joe Baker. And to an extent, Clancy and Ethan. But the main meat... Oh yeah, and Zoe. But the main meaty stories that are the DLC are Not a Hero and End of Zoe, which are Chris and Jack's. Joe's.
Come on, it's clear.
This dude's so...
Hurry!
He's so mean. He's so rude. Then his daughter has to make up for it. What was her name again? Elena.
Oh, you're welcome.
He's not used to relying on other people. I'm sorry. We'll be safe in here, won't we?
Safer here than out there, that's for sure. Hey, do you know anything about what's going on around here?
It doesn't make any sense. Mother Miranda has always protected us.
Nobody's answer.
Like this dude he gets what he deserves.
Father?
But I am super
We
excited
have
for
to
this
get
game,
inside.
you know, because it does seem like it's taking a lot of elements from 7. And aside from,
Just hold
you
on
know,
a bit longer, Papa.
making changes to make Ethan a better protagonist or a more engaging one, which was people's complaints, and adding in
So much
a
blood.
much wider enemy variety type, which would not take much, to be honest, from Resident Evil 7, because in Resident Evil 7 you had one enemy type, right? Or I guess
Hello?
2,
Anybody
if you count
home?
Marguerite Jack.
Maybe a familiar voice.
Louisa!
Molded.
Open up! It's me,
Marguerite
Elena!
Jack's, that's about it. I mean, you have a kind of branching tree off of the molded,
Who's this?
where you have the
Stay back.
crawly molded, the regular molded, and the regular
For
molded,
God's sake,
the
Julian, let us in.
No,
weaponized
smell the blood.
arm,
You'll endanger us all.
My
the
father will
huge
die out
blob
here.
molded,
That's
and
not
even
my
bigger
problem.
blob
What's going on?
molded.
These people want to let a dying man into our
And I
home.
think that
Come
was
now,
it.
these
There's like
people are our
4
friends.
molded type,
Go on, go inside.
and maybe
Come
a
here.
slight different variation of one of those 4
You're not
molded
from
type.
this village.
Uh,
And then of course the bosses, and I guess
I
when you
mean-
get into the DLC,
Yulian, go
you
make
got
yourself useful and check
Lucas.
the grounds.
Oh yeah,
I
Evelyn.
said go.
But I mean, isn't she just an extension of the molded? No, she creates.
Elena
the
trusts
molded.
you. And so do I. Come inside.
But yeah, so I guess there's that. And then with End of Zoe, it's just Jack
Wait
again,
here.
so
I'll check on the others.
it's not really much there. So you have the 4 bosses, right? Jack, Lucas, Marguerite, and Evelyn. And then the Molded, which has like 4 variation types. And those 4 variation types might have a slightly different variation to it. And they're so small, I'm not going to consider it another variation. It's just an altered form of that variation. Like the tall, blob, normal, standard one has a slight variation where
inside,
he
the
has
others
a
are waiting.
weaponized arm. And this scene is just nuts.
The fuck is this?
Right? You have this
Outsiders,
woman
you're
right
gonna
here
get
who's
us
like,
all
Right.
you're afraid of,
He
what is
helped
his name,
Leonardo and
Leo?
Elena.
Or something like that in Elena, then you're a friend of ours.
Please,
This guy's a dick.
take a seat.
Just wants to yell and be annoying
Is this all
and
that's
be a
left?
jerk.
From your entire village?
All that's left.
Like, he's literally mocking
that's
that woman
left?
for having a dead
There
husband,
is no one left.
and then mocking her for letting
A
an
worthless
injured man he's
invalid
probably friends with before this,
Stupid.
and then
Wailing
an injured guy.
bitch. And you!
Like, what is his issue?
You drag a bloody man and
Like,
an
he's drunk.
outsider in here
I think
like it's
that's
nothing?
clear to see,
expect to be all
and that's
safe?
probably why he's lashing out.
There
Because
is
he
no
is drunk.
safe.
He's a
Sorry
drunken,
bastard out there has
belligerent
been ripped in
moron.
half. But tomorrow?
But I don't know. This guy's a dick.
Tomorrow we'll all be dead.
Like, honestly,
Just like a
of
damn
all these
husband.
people, you can tell the guy in the back corner.
Roxana.
I'm not
That's
gonna
enough.
wrong.
This
He's a
house
dick,
has
so you'd
protected
expect
my
them to
family
keep
for
him around maybe
generations.
for a tiny bit
And drunk
to
or
make you
not,
hate him.
you are all welcome and safe.
Like, he's a
in
dick
here.
in a different way that the old man's a dick. The old man's just,
Can someone
he's like,
please
he's got
tell me
that
what the
boomer
hell
mentality
is
where
going
he
on
doesn't
here?
want
We don't
anybody's
know.
help. Doesn't
One
want
day
nothing
we
to
were a
change.
quiet, devout village, and the next, the monsters
It's
came
like,
and
he's the
attacked
dude
us.
who would complain
And they kept
about,
coming.
Wait, Louisa. Where
I
is your
guess,
husband?
in a term for my mind's
No.
context.
No, he is
Oh.
out.
And I mean,
Somewhere.
we're all, we all
He
do
went
it.
to get help.
Like,
Yes, that's.
for example,
That's
he's
it.
the guy
He
who would
went to fetch
complain when synchros or XCs or pendulums were
pray.
added to Yu-Gi-Oh!
For him.
You know, it wants nothing
For
new.
all of us.
Fusions and rituals
idea.
are the only extra you,
Come,
right? Or when
gather.
Mega Evolutions, Z moves, and Gigantamax were added to Pokemon. You don't need any of that. Leave it to Digimon.
Great ones.
You got this
Hear our
fancy
voice.
thing. I mean, to an extent, yeah, I'm kind of in that
We call
boat.
on thee
I don't mind Xyz.
within the endless dark.
I actually really like Xyz monsters. Synchros are really cool.
As the midnight
I don't like
moon
pendulums.
rises
I think
on
pendulums
black wings,
and links
so
are a
we make
bit
our
much.
sacrifice and
I
await
get
the
them all the
light
same because
at
the card
end.
arts are so cool.
In life,
And I
and in
think
death, we give you glory.
Mega Evolutions are
Mother
amazing,
Miranda.
despite the fact that it got a lukewarm reception when it first came out.
No.
And
The tea should be ready.
Z moves were
Come help
fun,
me, Elena,
but I don't
please.
like Gigantamaxing. I
That
don't.
prayer.
I just don't
I've heard it before.
care.
There was an old woman near the graveyard.
To me, it added nothing to the experience. And
Some bitch is crazy as a bag of rats.
There is wisdom
it just
in her devotion,
didn't do anything.
and I hope it protected her as it shall protect us.
And then here you get everything goes fucking crazy, dude. Use machete her in the heart.
Leonardo,
Jump to the ceiling. The place is already on fire. And you see this poor innocent woman who had like literally no bad bone in her body.
Elena, no, stay back!
Just gonna throw her down. And then you got Elena freaking out about her dad. See, what I'm thinking is it's probably not best to use your gun there because you're just wasting ammo. Although instinctively you probably use it, but I mean, the cutscene is gonna save you anyway, so that's probably why you shouldn't use your ammo. But you don't know what's coming, so I get why you shoot.
Let him go!
But you know, I do like her presence because,
Elena?
you know, through there, it gives Ethan someone to interact with,
No!
which you don't have in 7. He has no one to interact
I'm so
with
sorry, Father.
in person. aside from the villains,
wasn't your
aside
father
from
anymore.
enemies.
You
It's all
did the
he's
right
got
thing.
to interact with. And in 7, yeah, sure, he
Elena,
had
no.
the phone calls with
There's
Zoe.
nothing you can do.
But the phone calls with Zoe were more of a way to break the game up into
You couldn't
sections,
save him.
right? You
He
could
was
break the
already
game up
gone.
into sections
Leave me
of
alone.
No.
like laying
getting
out
out
how
of
the
here.
story goes
Together.
via her phone calls. In the beginning, anyway. You know, once you get a little later, it gets
I gotta get out
slightly
of here.
more obvious. But the fact that he gets Elena to kind of bounce off of, and it humanizes him more because he actually gets to interact with someone. So even back there, you get to see him interact with actual people. Which again, in 7, aside from the villains, you don't see. All Ethan interacts with in that game are the Bakers and his wife. That's it. And Chris at the very, very end of the game, right? And then a phone call at the end of Zoe. That's it. It's the only thing. And even then, your interactions with Zoe and Mia are probably minuscule compared to your time with the Bakers. All right, the evil Bakers, I should specify. Considering Zoe is a Baker.
Damn, the fire's moving fast.
But this little set piece, I do like it. It gives you like a stressful but less stressful time from when you
Step
first
back.
use
We
the
can
car
bust
in the
out with
game.
this.
Like with 7, when you're in that fight with Jack and he can end up in the car or you can end up in the car. Depends on how you play your cards. That's like high stress on top of a stressful situation. This is less stress and a stressful set piece situation.
Ethan, are you all right?
I'm fine. Let me back up again.
And then hearing my cat.
There isn't any time.
Her.
Nowhere to go but up.
Adorable. He's adorable.
Grab on. Hurry.
I think not breathing in smoke is kind of normal. But
Let's
yeah,
move.
I mean, you can see the
worry.
upgrades from 7
Try not
to
to breathe
8
in the smoke.
just by the criticism. Even though people
Thank you,
still
Ethan.
criticizing about the enemies because they know it's not
You're kind.
risen. We'll get into that later.
I hope your family is safe.
But
I do too.
I do like this little self-contained village demo. It's nice. I mean, I wonder how much of it will stay the same or how much of this is actually
There.
exactly
That's our
the
way
same in
out.
the game.
Thank God.
Because I know in
Ben,
early trailers,
the village is still full
stuff
of
is
monsters.
subject to change.
We can't fight them. There's too many.
Right, there's no guarantee
don't
Ethan
talk
was
like
ever
that.
going to walk up to that
Find
thing.
a
That
safe
old
house to
man
put you
answered
in
with
so
a
I can find
shotgun
my
to his
daughter.
face, and then they go
My
inside
hunch is
there and
she's in
see
that
how
old
Oak
castle.
Light can roam around the place.
That place is full of nothing but blood
There's
and
no
death.
guarantee that that
And
was
I don't
going
want
to
to be
happen.
alone while you're... Father?
But you thought it would at the
Elena,
very
no.
beginning.
That's not him. Not anymore.
He said my name. Father!
Wait, it's not safe.
And I just gotta admit, this is a very dumb situation. She should just jump.
Stay
Like,
there.
dude, your dad's lived a good life. He's had a he's had a good amount of years on him. So it makes me
Ethan,
wonder
go.
how much of this is true
Save
because
your
of all the
daughter.
rumors going around at the game in the early stages,
Reach
kind
for
of
me.
hinting at her being the playable character.
Damn it.
So it makes me wonder how much of the situation is true or what kind of
Fire is
stuff they have up their
dying
sleeves
on
to
me.
make it seem like she survived that or she got hurt from that, but not life-threateningly
Too
hurt.
much.
It's just going to be interesting to see how, you know, that all goes.
I just don't
To
get
see how much of that stays unchanged, really, will be like the biggest thing.
This place is going mad.
Because, you know, not
Why
everything
the fuck is this
will
happening again?
obviously line up
Shit.
with how the main game will actually go, right? Because game developers alter things for demos all the time, unless you're that one game that literally left the full game in the demo. I forget what game that was. It was a really old one. Oh yeah, this thing. This scene where you get you get like a shot of Mother Miranda. Like what the hell?
Who's there? Stop!
That's so
Miranda!
so nuts. Like I want to know if that's actually Mother Miranda or not. Was that really Mother Miranda, or was that somebody else?
What
And
was
then
that?
kind of assuming it's Mother Miranda. I don't know. But that seems like it would be extremely, I don't know, scary. For sure.
Death.
Like, come back to the Chrome.
Death has visited
Death,
them
yes,
all.
death. Like, come on, woman. She's so giddy too. Like, is she gonna be a boss fight, or is she just some creepy person? That's another good answer. Another good thing to question. Like, is she really a giddy old woman who you'll have to fight, or is she just gonna show up periodically throughout the game and you never fight her? Because I can see her periodically throwing out, or is she like the grandma from Seven? You know, you think nothing of it until the very end of the game when you realize it's Evie. Yeah. Or is she trying to do that? And watch the game come out, and when you finally do that little section, it makes you get the small piece for that section you did instead of the big piece. Also, I don't know why it's taking him so long to line this up. It's bizarre. Or I guess you got both of them. Never mind. Like I said, I didn't play this. This is from Boss Fight Database. But like I said, I'm not gonna have the chance to ever play this demo. It's a work schedule. So, you know, tend to borrow a little gameplay here, but yeah. Alright. So, we're gonna cut back to me in the backdrop real fast and then pick up with the castle demo.
Nothing but blood and
Woohoo.
death. Huh?
Alright, so that was the village portion of the demo, and honestly, like I said, that was from, as I've said many times now, Fighting Boss Data Player, I've already forgotten the chronological order of those words for the channel, but that was from him. That was his gameplay. Um, like I said, I won't be able to play that demo ever because I close 12:39 on Monday or on Saturday, 5:32 on Sunday. So I won't be able to play the demo next Saturday. I'm just gonna have to wait till, you know, next Friday, right? Man, it's 2 Fridays away. The game, wow. Wow, that makes me excited. Anyway, that was the demo portion. You got a lot of Lycan action, a lot of Ethan interacting with Elena, the village people, residents, and honestly, I think that was probably the biggest takeaway from that demo was that burning, chaotic mess. So when Ethan meets the whole group and then everything after that, basically until he leaves the house, is probably the biggest highlight of that whole thing. Honestly, the biggest takeaway from me from that portion of the demo has to be his interaction with Elena. Really, because just, I guess not only just with Elena, but with everybody. But he interacts with Elena the most throughout the demo. because the dad's very screw you, and then when you actually get in there, he hardly interacts with anyone aside from the lady because you got the bigot. Nobody else really speaks to you, and you're just like, give me answers. It don't work like that though. But yeah, that was the village portion of the demo, and I think now all we have to do is just jump right into the castle or walking. Don't know how you jump into a castle. All right, so let's jump into the castle demo. Again, this is my gameplay. All right, this is my gameplay. Y'all can see it on my channel separately from this. I uploaded this just by itself, raw footage, the raw, recording saved video. So you pick up that, and you just walk around. And again, the reason why I'm doing it this way is one, because I kind of thought about doing it at work the other day when I was closing by myself. Let's splice the two demos together. Just go over my thoughts and my own personal opinions of what's going on with the demo, how it feels, how the game compares to 7 or past titles. Obviously, it's a lot like 7 with some quality of life update features. Like I said, going up pressing X instead of having to switch automatically to your knife and stuff is nice. You just walk up, press X while you're still on your gun, while you still have your gun out using the knife. That's nice, honestly. But again, it feels a lot like 7 combat and gameplay wise. I mean, obviously they took some things from 4, added into this one, like the inventory system, because everybody loves it, honestly. Really, I could take it or leave it. I don't care one way or the other whether it's like the first game, the first couple games that are all on fixed camera angles, or whether it's 4's grid system or 5's system. Honestly, 6 is trash. I love Resident Evil 6 a lot, but its menu system is trash. It really is. And then 7's was fine too. But yeah, you notice all these materials. This demo is heavily geared towards, teaching you how to use the inventory. Honestly, specifically the crafting. It really is geared towards, hey, this is the crafting. Honestly, I didn't do much with it, but that's just because the entire time my girlfriend was hounding me. Right? I played this with her, which is the main reason why I didn't play this with commentary, is because she doesn't want to do any of this. She doesn't want to be a part of any of this. Not yet, anyway. Still haven't given up on that dream. That's for another day. Anyway, yeah, so, like I said, this is my gameplay footage, and again, at that instance, she was yelling at me. She's like, what are you doing? Move! And I'm like, why? She's like, hey, you're timed. You need to move faster. And I'm like, fine. So there's a lot of times I go into the inventory system and she hates it. She doesn't want anything to do with it. And she's just yelling at me to move, go forward, do something, continue onward. And I'm like, what? But yeah, so, I mean, the castle looks amazing. It definitely gives me that old, oh yeah, this was great. This was great. I wonder what that's going to be for, in the long run. Do I have to find 4 different pieces?
We meet again.
Because they all have different indentations.
There's coin to be made.
As you can see,
And have you found your
one had 3, one had 1.
No.
And then I walked in this room and I didn't even notice it at first.
The lady of the castle would have kept little Rose in her
It scared the hell out of me.
Would she not?
I still don't know how I did not see him.
The very same. Why don't you take a look? Maybe you'll get lucky. And speaking of looking, care to make a purchase? Welcome, Ethan. I've gotten some new stock.
And I remember that being another thing that threw people for a loop was Ethan saying Domitrisk instead of Dimitrisк or even Dimitrescu.
These
He
hands
said
are more
Domitrisk.
dexterous than one might think.
Why? Why would it be pronounced like an O and not an I? Was that just a thing? The voice actor
I see. Anything
getting it
else?
wrong, or I don't
Till
know.
next we meet.
Anyway, as you can see, this is like the shop. You can see all the supplies you can buy. You saw all the gun upgrades you could do with your thing. Oh, so that's how you got the shotgun? You could buy the shotgun from there? I would have much rather have had the shotgun than the handgun. I honestly did not look, because again, my girlfriend was rushing me this entire time, so I wasn't paying all that close attention to everything. And when I did get back into that zone of paying attention to stuff, she just rushed me. She's like, "What are you doing? Move! Stop! Get out of inventory. Continue. Go forward." And I'm like, "Oh, would you chill?" Like, I know I have 30 minutes, but I'm fairly competent in my own mindset that I can finish this while taking my time. Like, geez. Like, I know you have 30 minutes to play this, but it's not like you have one shot at playing this. You're just only allowed to play it in a 30-minute time span in an 8-hour window. Right? So theoretically, you could play this demo 16 times. Theoretically. Right? You could, if you maximize your time in each game or in each demo playthrough, you could play it up to 16 times. Now, what happens if you're at like 25 minutes in your gameplay and it hits 3 a.m.? Would it kick you out even though you haven't reached your 30-minute mark because it expired past its availability? Well, I don't know how that would have worked. I would have been interested to see how. But in my time zone, Central Time Zone, this demo is available from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. But yeah, honestly, like everything to do with the castle, like looks beautiful, looks gorgeous. And during this time, I was like, wait a minute, is this the area like in the Maiden demo? And it is. It is the area in the Maiden demo. You know, I got there and I was like, oh, this is just where we were before. I'm like, so am I supposed to go? Is there a way I'm supposed to get in there? Is that my end goal? Like in the Maiden demo? Like, obviously going through this blind, I didn't know where my end objective was, where my route was supposed to go. Again, I thought I had my knife out. No, I don't know what the purpose of this was. I'm still confused. Maybe I'm supposed to find something later to put in there. This was before I tested it out. But yeah, I have no idea what that's for. You know, I smacked it. It's like, maybe I can store it. No. I think this is where I remember. No, I go into that room and then I remember. Right? Because this, again, in this room, she yells at me to hurry up. Right? So you do this, you read that, it's the same thing from the Maiden demo, talking about her wine and how their business is alive and how long they've been there and all that stuff. It's literally the same note from the Maiden demo. So this isn't new information here. Don't know if you can hear that loud truck slowly driving by. And I did read it, so I read it, right, out loud to my girlfriend, but I didn't have my headphones in. That's right. So no, never mind. I thought I read it, but neither here or there. Yeah, and that confused me. I just figured it was something that I can't use in the demo. It's just like, hey, remember this for when you actually play the game. You'll be coming back to it with an actual item. And so I was actually looking for something. I forget what, but I was looking for something. I think at this point I asked my girlfriend, he's like, oh, no, this is when I remember, hey, there's the treasure item, right? It's a treasure item.
Good. I was just
So I
thinking
run all
of
the way
ways to
back to
pass
the Duke and I
time.
sell it off.
This is all an investment, Ethan.
Right? Which is only natural. Now that you actually have a shop, whereas in Resident Evil 7 you didn't have a shop. You didn't have nothing. You what you did was you found items and you combined them. And you also found hidden coins
These
to
hands are more
unlock them from
dexterous than
bird
one might
cages.
think.
Right? So it was just a matter of
Thank
finding
you for
an
your
item
patronage.
in the mansion, and then finding the parts in the mansion, and then finding coins to unlock stuff from bird cages. Whereas in this game, you have the Duke to purchase all of those from. So I'm assuming in Resident Evil 8, you won't be finding guns places. You won't be finding gun parts and places to combine items, or to combine the parts with weapons. Or at least not as frequently or as often or as many times as you could in 7. So I'm assuming all of that has been pretty much replaced with the endgame currency. The Levi, however you want to pronounce it. I did ask my girlfriend at that point, it's like, hey, should I go left or right? And then I immediately went right. And she's like, why did you even ask me? It's like, I don't know. You know, and then there she's like, hey, yo, that's the eye. And I'm like, yeah. I think this is this when she pops up? It is. This is when the first of the daughters pops up. I don't know which one I think it's Cassandra, because the other one later says something about Cassandra. So I think this one's Cassandra. I think it's like Bella, Cassandra, and Daniela are the 3 witches' names. Right? She's very bloodthirsty, right? And at this point in time, I'm running around, I'm confused. I'm like, where the fuck am I supposed to go? I did not see those boards to my left right there. If you notice in that the very top portion of the the very top portion of the room, there's some boards you could lift. But I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? Can I, what? Honestly, that confused me. How did you grab me? I was at the door. So again, I was like, that door won't open. I thought what I assumed when I see that door and that door wasn't going to be available to open was I assumed I was going to go into that room. I was going to find something to unlock that door with. But that just wasn't the case. And so that's what really stumped me. I was like, then where the hell am I supposed to go?
The more scared you are, the thicker the
So this
blood.
time I'm finally going towards the sides, and I see that, and I'm like, whoa, that looks like, you know, and I accidentally used my healing thing, and then she bit me. You know, this time I'm like really panicking, but now I know I'm supposed to go through here. You know, how she didn't bite me again. You know, and you fall through there, and you're basically going in reverse of the maiden demo, which, you know, was what I was afraid of, was you were just going to retread the same area in the maiden demo. Honestly, and that's what you do. There's some new parts, obviously, but 90% of what you explore in this demo, or I don't want to say 90, maybe 75, 80% of what you explore in this demo is from the maiden demo. I'd say 75. Because, you know, you see a little bit past. Like in the maiden demo, you got the main foyer room, and you can go to that right door. But in this demo, you go from the left door. Right? So everything left of that door is new, just like the Duke and then that little alcove leading up. And then after that, when you come down here, it's the same until you get to the cage your character in the maiden demo was stuck at. Right? And then you go past that to the left, and everything to the left is new. So I'd say it's actually realistically more like 65% of this demo is areas already seen. And that was Lady Dimitrescu. Domitrescu, whatever. I saw her, and I was like, what? Did I just actually... was that true? Did I just see that? I'm assuming a lot of people walked up to that door and was like, "Hey, come step on me," whatever, you know. I wasn't too worried about that. Like I said, at this point, you can kind of see me moving a little faster because, you know, I don't want to dwell too long on areas. Mainly because, once again, like I said, I have my girlfriend hounding behind me. Come on, move faster. You're going to run out of time because she wants to see the end of the demo. Right? I'm like, all right, fine. I'll move. You know, that's what I did. I was like, hey, oh, this room. I was like, wait a minute. I remember there being a door over there. And I just smack it once. How funny would that be if it actually made it to the torch? That would have been great. I'm sure there's a way you could just knife it. Maybe I'll do that when I play the game. But for right now, I'm confused. I'm lost. Amber's yelling at me what I'm supposed to do. Because she's like, hey, there's something in the room. Yeah, she's the one who pointed this out to me. Trust in light. Right? And I'm like, what is that? What does that mean exactly? And then she's like, she's telling me to hit it towards the wall. So I'm like, okay, I'll hit it towards the wall. For a second, I thought maybe I was supposed to shoot it off, and then I shoot it, and he's like, okay, that didn't do nothing. Because that's what I thought she was telling me to do. And she's like, no, what are you doing? Hit it towards the light. And I'm like, oh. Maybe I'm supposed to hit it towards the doorway, and it swings back and hits it at a greater velocity. No. This is when I realized what she's telling me to do. She's like, no, hit it towards the torch, you moron. And I'm like, hey, okay, I get it now. And now you're back in the dungeons where, and this confused me because the light doesn't turn on immediately. So I was like, oh my god, am I just gonna walk in complete darkness? It's like, all right, I'll just go for it. It's like, oh, it's the flashlight. So I was like, why did that come on sooner? That confused me. The light didn't turn on as soon as you entered darkness, which I was totally expecting it to do, but it didn't. And it is what it is. Yeah, she got me through the thing, right? The torchlight, whatever. Which, hey, good on her. You know, you got to go through every sale, even though you're on a time limit. Because, like I said, there's no timer, right? There's no clock ticking down telling you how much time you've spent. It's like, hey, you've been playing for 14 minutes. You know, you don't have that. Otherwise, you know, that would be a much better tool to kind of gauge how long you have. Because it's not, because I think what the one-shot demo for Resident Evil 2 was, you could just only play through it once, I believe. Resident Evil 7's demo was you could play it for as long as you want, as many times as you want, for as long as you wanted. Right? That thing was up 24/7. No timer limit. You were just stuck in that guest house with your very limited things to do, and then they updated it every so often throughout 2016 to add new things to it to bring players back to it. I think they updated it 3 times. Because I think the second time you're able to escape through the upstairs window, which they allude to in the game, and then it starts the Mia fight, obviously. Oh, yeah, because you go down into the thing, and then there's the actual molded. They actually show you the molded in the final demo. Final update to the demo. Oh yeah, and the zombies. Here are the zombies with swords. A lot more resilient than I was expecting. And at this point in time, I wasn't thinking about blocking. I should have. I really, really should have. But I cornered myself. I literally have cornered myself. And then I've noticed that, and I was like, oh, thank God. Quick escape. Let me come over here. Let me break this down. It tells me to guard, but I'm like, whatever. Guard. And I didn't maximize this. And then he comes out of freaking nowhere. You know? So I've got 2 dead. There's still 2 left. But yeah, these zombies were resilient, you know? And again, these are the zombies in this game. They have weapons. They move like zombies. They're a lot more resilient. Like, I just keep harping on that. And I've upgraded the power of this handgun, like as max. I think I kill him. Yeah, right there. You know, then that makes another crystal and more money. Yada yada yada. So I'm like, cool. There's a map. I don't have time to scour that. I really don't. I accidentally used the health thing right there, and I was so mad. I was so mad that I immediately went in there, and I think I created one. I thought about it, and then you know you get here and you're hearing them. Yeah, you hear more of them. I forget how many come out of this door. I think there's just 2. Yeah, and I'm just shooting wildly right here. Just shooting wildly, like with no care at all am I shooting. Because these guys honestly feel more resilient than the molded. You know, at this point, I think there's another route, but it's like, oh wait, this is just where I was. Yeah, this is exactly where I just was. I'm going backwards. So I'm like, well then I've got to go back. You know, where's this guy? First one there. Yeah, kill him right there, you know, and then I'm like, there's a second one, but I don't know where it's at. And he's right there. Fun. You know, I'm trying to maximize the headshots here, but it's not working out in my favor, to be honest. Typically, I've never been the best aim in games. Honestly, I don't know how for so long I kept my accuracy better in our Resident Evil playthroughs. And 5, my accuracy was better than him by a good fair percentage. And Revelations 2, it was, I think, even greater. And in Chris's campaign, my accuracy was a better by 0.75%. He had a 64% even, I think, and mine was 64.75. So it was a clear even percentage. So that was astronomical. But yeah, again, and there's more enemies. And then you come down here, and again, I'm using that function where you press X even though you don't have your knife out, but he uses the knife anyway, which is... And then I come back to this. I ran away from that because I thought it was like a quick way down through there. No, it's not. It's just pieces. Honestly, I thought about going up to that door first, but then I just kind of got distracted. Because, like, literally, you go through this place and...
I can't believe Cassandra
it's a maze.
caused all this mess.
It feels like a maze. And then you see the flies, and then I'm panicking at this point. I'm panicking. I'm running, like, for my life. Because I know she's somewhere around. She's chasing me, but... Yeah, there's shotgun shells.
I can't wait.
It is what it is. And then I'm like, I'm not a dumb fool this time, I know. And then she just appears behind you. Right? And she jumps on you, and bada boom. Alright, so that is both demos. I mean, honestly, the castle demo was pretty smooth sailing. Not a lot of eventful moment by moments. It's very gameplay heavy when you compare it to the Village demo. The Village demo, you had more story beats, more cutscenes going, and gameplay demo, it's more exploration based, more combat based. Don't get me wrong, there was combat in the first demo. You killed a couple Lycans, maybe 1 or 2. I forget how many exactly, even though I just watched the footage. You fight Elena's dad for that bit, and in the second one, you know, again, the beginning starts off slow-paced. You're just wandering, exploring. You meet the Duke. They teach you about the crafting, the selling. You know, the second demo is very gameplay-focused. It really, really is. It gives you more of a feeling of what the exploration's going to be like, how the puzzles are going to work, how the crafting and selling is going to work. It gives you more of a feel for tough combat situations where you're surrounded by multiple enemies, whereas the first one gives you more of a feel of how the story's going to flow. how the story's gonna be, the tone for it all and everything. So they both have their uses, they both have their purposes. Honestly, if I had to give my opinion on which one I liked more, it's probably the one I didn't play. And that's just because it was more story focused, which is what I pay more attention to anyway, is the story over gameplay, but I still appreciate the gameplay with the story. You know, it's like here and here. There are very few things where I put gameplay above story. You know, I am more of a story person, but when it comes to you know, games like Pokemon, it definitely is the gameplay over the story because you know what you're getting into, to be honest with you, so it's not that hard. You know, and the story really does give or take because the quality isn't the same going throughout the series. Some stories are better, some stories are more intuitive, some stories are more serious, and then some are more lighthearted, some are less impactful, you know, all that shebang. But anyway, yeah, probably the biggest gripe I see was going into 7. I mean, obviously, there's a big hype, emphasis on big hype, because of how tall Lady Dimitrescu is, or as Ethan pronounced it, Domitrescu. Why is it Dom? It's D-I-M, so it should be Dimitrescu. I mean, we already know the U is silent. Thank you, Capcom Showcase. But still, the biggest complaint I see, you know, people still aren't a huge fan of Ethan, but people are, I guess, hopeful based off of like the personality he's showing through the demos. So I thought that was a good thing. Obviously, you saw more of his personality shining a little bit in the Village demo again, because the Village demo seemed to be more geared towards story setting. Like, by and large, this will be the tone of the game, right? And this is how the story's tone will go through. Well, the castle demo seemed to be more geared towards gameplay, right? Of all facets: crafting, selling, exploration, combat. Obviously, you had that in the first demo, but there wasn't. I don't think there was crafting. But I mean, you had that in the first demo, but obviously there wasn't as much emphasis on it. It was there because, you know, it's a demo, but it wasn't the main priority for it compared to the castle. You know, the castle demo was definitely geared towards combat, or not just combat, more geared towards gameplay feel, whereas Village seemed to be more geared towards story feel. But, you know, aside from Ethan, the other thing I see people complaining about is, why are there werewolves? Why are there vampires slash witches, maybe, in my Resident Evil game? That's not Resident Evil. Where are my zombies? Obviously, zombies are the only bioweapons that matter. You know, those are the only enemy types you can have as a BOW in a zombie game. A zombie game and a Resident Evil game. Yeah, I get it. Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, to an extent, Code Veronica, all had primarily, and 0, all had primarily zombie regular enemies. They were the most abundant regular enemy type you could find. Obviously, there were dogs, there were spiders, there were, I think snakes were more of a recent one? Was that just 4? I don't know. You had hunters, the BOWs, but it's like, what are you talking about? Why are zombies the only regular enemy type you want in a game? I mean, they're giving you what you wanted. You said the molded were cool, but that's all you gave us in 7, aside from the Baker family, right? We want more. We want more variety. Then here comes 8, and they're like, hey, here's a variety of enemies you can face. You got your zombies. We brought in werewolves because that's a cool theme. And without werewolves, what would they be without the vampires? And then we don't even know about the other 2 areas, right? Obviously, one of the big 4 will be a Lycan themed troop. And obviously, Lady Dimitrescu is a vampire, witch themed. We don't know what the other 2 houses what their enemy archetype themes are going to be. I'm sure zombies will be in all 4 areas. I'm sure werewolves will be in all 4 areas, but I'm sure they'll all have like their own unique enemy to their area as well, aside from, you know, the head of the house, like Lady Dimitrescu, or her brother, as she called him, the guy with the hat who looks like Arden, kind of, from Final Fantasy 15. Anyway, yeah, it's like, why are you complaining? I mean, you all weren't upset with the molded. Like, I didn't see too many people upset that your regular enemy type was the molded in 7 instead of zombies, and still considered a Resident Evil game. Except for those who are like, first person, that's not Resident Evil. If it's a first person, it's definitely not a Resident Evil game. It's like, okay. That argument doesn't hold up considering the series was supposed to be first person in the first place, but, you know, technology limitations. But, you know, I didn't see many people complain about the molded being the regular enemy type, just that we only had the molded. Right? I mean, of course, with Resident Evil, you always have your boss monsters. I mean, you had a giant snake, a giant shark, and a giant spider as bosses in the first game. And of course, you had the tyrant, Lisa Trevor. You know, and then the second game, they give you Mr. X, William Birkin in his many, many shapes. You know, you had a lot of variety of enemies and BOWs throughout the entirety of the series. Of course, with 5 and 6, you had a lot more action element to it. You know, and a lot of people don't like those games because of it. I love them because I played them both with my best friend. And then Revelations 2 is one of, if not my favorite Resident Evil game of all time. Don't get me wrong, I love 7, I love Resident Evil Remake 2. I really liked 3 Remake. I didn't love it as much as 2 or Revelations 2 or 7 or as unsure I will 8, but I still really liked it. You know, because it plays really well. It's fun. But, you know, so I don't get the issue with Lycans and vampires being BOWs. You know, they're not just werewolves for the sake of being werewolves. They're not just vampire-esque ladies without some reason for the Resident Evil universe. I am sure in some way, shape, or form, they are BOWs. If I'm wrong, and I'll eat my words. But until then, I am almost positive in some way, shape, or form they will explain how they are werewolves, how they're Lycans, how Lady Dimitrescu and her 3 daughters got to be the way they are. You know, I'm sure the game will explain in some way, shape, or form the scientific reasoning why they are the way they are. You know, how they got to be the way they are, just like every other BOW in the series. So, you know, I don't honestly get that argument because with Resident Evil, almost anything can somehow, shape, or form be turned into a BOW because it's just a bioterrorist weapon, right? You could make anything that, realistically. But, you know, that's enough from me, this long-winded thing. This video is long enough. I just tacked on 10 minutes. So, you know, I hope you have a great day. Remember, only you can be the best you can possibly be. If you like the video, leave a like, comment if you love it. Super special, awesome. Tell me what your thoughts were about the demo. Tell me the things you're most excited for about this game. Tell me the things you're least excited for that you've seen so far. Yeah, I'll play the trailer to end this thing off, so enjoy that. Ta-ta for now.
As the midnight moon rises on black wings, we await the light at the end. In life and in death, glory to Mother Miranda.
your whining. We're almost there.
Rose, where are you?
Hello. If there are any survivors out there, come to Louisa's house near the fields.
Oh no, they're coming. Who is? What the hell was that?
Stop shouting. You'll draw the monsters.
Tell me, what is going on around here?
It doesn't make any sense. Mother Miranda has always protected us.
You escaped my little brother's idiot games, did you? Let's see how special you are.
Is this all that's left? From your entire village?
All that's left? There is no one left!
We can bust out with this.
Lycans and gentlemen, we thank you for waiting. And now let the games begin! There is no safe! Every sorry bastard out there has been ripped in half. Tomorrow we'll all be dead.
No, let me go!
Chris? What the hell? Why?
Ethan Winters.
Mr. Winters.
Poor Ethan.
Ethan Winters. Welcome.
Get off of me! Stay the fuck down!
I gotta say, I'm surprised you made it this far. It'd be a shame if something happened to you now.
You killed Mia. Now do me and finish the job.